This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
GameWorn Radio is on the air.
Hey! Delta score! Popping the Cordova, baby! We're going bowling. Now, let's go on Moose on a Harley. The fires, he scores! L.A. face with an Oakland Moody. Scores! Make me a bicycle club. They score! Bowmeister paid that man his money.
GameWorn Radio.
Hey everybody, it's there, GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us, and I am here with Dan, Tom, Phil, Jason. We're going to talk about some stuff.
Like buying stuff.
Like buying stuff, you know, the good stuff. So what do we got going on? I know you had a little bit of news about, there's some stuff going down in St. Louis World.
When isn't there?
We just had our Red Wing sale, not that long ago. So, do you want me to talk about this Red Wing sale? Because it wasn't
Go with the wing sale first.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
the article I wrote wasn't like all that entertaining, I suppose, because there was like no drama going on or anything. So, you know, they changed the format. So, I had anticipated not needing to get there very early. So, I mean, in previous years, I was there at like 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, whatever. The earliest I'd ever been there is like 12 hours before, and it was just because of like the massive competition, right? So I ended up going there. I went there at like 8. I got there at 8 o'clock. So I get there at 8 o'clock, right? And I'm maybe 8th in line. So just as I anticipated, you know, you didn't need to be there like crazy early or anything, which was really, really nice. But a lot of it, I think, was due to the fact that, one, we didn't make the playoffs. 2, everybody anticipated the prices to be pretty high because the whole patch situation. And then there was the one jersey, or one current year jersey per person. So I think that really limited the people that showed up early. But you still had like season ticket holders showing up, so I think by the time everything was said and done, there were maybe 40 or 50 season ticket holders there that were getting in. And so they got in, they got to do their stuff for pretty much an hour 15 minutes before everybody. But they had to check out and then leave the store, and if they wanted something else, they had to get back in line. So we saw like you know, a good 50 people, and a lot of them showed up like between. Let's see, they opened the door for them at like 9:45 technically, and they were limiting like 25 people in the door at a time, and they really just limited. They limited them to, so it wasn't like a massive amount of people, so they counted them as they're going through the door, and everybody had wristbands and everything. So like, if you got in line, you got a wristband, and then they gave you, if you wanted to get in line again, they would give you a second wristband, so they know it was your second time through or whatever. But a lot of the season ticket holders ended up getting there like 9:30, 9:45. Like, people didn't really start showing up until just before the thing opened up, which was perfectly fine. Because, I mean, I don't think there weren't a ton of people that were like upset about not getting what they wanted. I mean, it was kind of chill. And technically, according to the rules, you know, you're not supposed to get out of line and then get back in line and go talk to your friends or whatever, but everybody in the line was really cool, so you know, we just kind of BS and bullshitted and walked around, talked to whoever we wanted that was in line, and I talked to another dude that was pretty cool, who was a goaltender, so we talked about tendy shit for a while. There's a lady in front of me that I was hoping didn't know who I was, and then she knew who I was. It's like, that sucks. But yeah, I mean, I got the 2 jerseys that I wanted. Nobody really cared because the prices were so high. I mean, the prices ranged like $1,000 for a lesser known person for one of the 3 patch jerseys, up to $4,000 for Zetterberg. And the interesting thing for me this year was that Mantha was going more than Larkin. That was really interesting.
Now, because this was somewhat of a big change, kind of how they've done it in the past. How was the overall mood? What were other people thinking about how they did it this time around?
I mean, people were still being kind of secretive about what they wanted or whatever, but I mean, we all kind of knew what was up, and everybody was anticipating high prices. A couple of the guys kind of got a little sneak peek from talking to some people about what some of the prices would look like, and that just kind of trickled back to the back of the line. And I mean, with the prices so high, everybody was kind of anticipating it, so nobody was.
But it's not really. It wasn't really a change from how they've normally tried to do it. It's always been season ticket holders first, hasn't it?
No. Last year was, I would say, the biggest change, and then prior to that, you just had the season ticket holder email flyer thing. And
right, but the intent was always to give the season ticket holders a first crack. They just never policed it to the degree they policed it this time, right?
Yeah. I mean, we can say it like that if you'd like. I mean, essentially, all you needed in the past was the email. This time you had to actually RSVP for it, and it could only be the season ticket holder that's named on the account. So, say you and I bought 4 season tickets, and we split 2 seats and 2 seats. If I paid for them, I get in and you don't.
Now, is there a decent amount of season ticket holders that are interested enough in the jerseys, or is it 95% of the people don't give a shit and 5% of the season ticket holders actually go to this?
You know, there were really not a lot of season ticket holders there. I mean, comparatively. And what's interesting is, you know, I wasn't in the season ticket holder line, I was in the general line. You know, you can kind of see through the windows what people are doing. A lot of people are just picking up jerseys, you know, humming and hawing, and a lot of jerseys got put back. A lot of them. You know, and I would say by the time I got in, there was at least half of the 3-patch jerseys left. And I would say most of every other jersey. They weren't selling very good. A lot of people were there for gear, so the sticks went quick. When I got in the door, there were maybe a handful of sticks. There was nothing for sticks. There was like 1 or 2 pairs of gloves. There was a Yurko helmet, and then just a shit ton of skates. Like, they always have skates. Every year they have a crap ton of skates, and they can never move them.
Now, what do they price those at, though?
They started at $200, and I think they went up to like $400 or $450.
And see, and I'm gonna say my biggest experience with NHL level is the Blues. They don't give a shit about players. $200 across the board, and I can justify dropping $200 on a pair of skates if they fit me. I buy them to skate in. So at $200, if they're damn near brand new, I don't have an issue with dropping that kind of money. But yeah, you start creeping up into the $450 range. Yeah, but is it just their pricing was so high because of the 3-patch?
For the jerseys,
or is
yeah.
it because it's the Red Wings?
Well, it's kind of a combination. So it's the Red Wings, so the price is already high. But the set 1s and 2s, they had 2 patches. So they had a lot of them had the 100-year patch, even though it wasn't worn until like maybe a couple games. And then the number 9 Howe patch, every jersey had that one. So those 2 jerseys right there got your premium. And then who's selling shit on eBay?
Me.
Ain't nobody want to buy shit from you.
For $9.95.
They just sent them a best offer of like $5 on a $3,000 jersey, I bet.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, every jersey had the number 9 Howe patch, so that's your premium right there. Then on top of that, the whites had, or at least most of the whites would have had the 100-year patch for the set 1s, and that adds premium. And then the white set 2s had the Mr. I patch on the shoulder, which added an additional premium. And then they didn't have any red set 2s there. Those were all archived. So yeah, it's you pay for patches, man. When it comes to the Red Wings.
It's a hell of a lot of money for patches, geez.
Yeah.
So how did you get both Glendennings?
Dude, nobody fucking gives a shit about Glendenning.
So you bought one and got back in line to buy the other one?
I went with my stepdad. I was a little bit disappointed because my 3-patch Glendenning, the wear was pretty light. And then the wear was okay on the set one. But, I mean, overall, I think the wear was it was lighter this year. But, of course, they were wearing 2 sets of jerseys as opposed to the ones that they normally wear 1 set of jerseys. Now, interesting enough, there were some tattoo jerseys there for $3,000. Last year they tried to sell them for 12.
Ouch!
They dropped the price from 12 to 6. No, they dropped it to 9, then to 6, or was it 6 to 5 or something like that? They eventually got it down from 12 to 3, and then they finally started selling.
That's still a pretty good deal, though, I would think.
I mean, I was definitely tempted, that's for sure.
Well, and Derek, you'll laugh, especially the fact that I'm such a diehard Blues fan. I ended up with something out of the equipment sale thanks to Matt. I don't know if he's got his mic on, but I know he's on the Skype call. I love those Reebok tennis shoes that the teams have had, and I know there was a post back and forth about sizes they had, and Matt happened to pick up an extra pair in my size, so I have a nice pair of Red Wings Reebok shoes.
Must be nice to have normal people feet.
Yeah.
Yes.
They had these nasty green looking ones that they had in like a 12.5 or 13, which is my size. But I didn't want the nasty looking green ones. I wanted the cool like red fade to black ones. And they're like $55, and I was like all about them until I found out that they didn't have any of my size, and I was just, for me, that was like the ultimate disappointment.
I would have grabbed
Like,
probably the
how
green
weird
too.
is that? I'm there for jerseys, right? And I'm the most disappointed about them not having my shoe size.
That sweatshirt, though.
That sweatshirt's awesome.
Oh yeah, dude, I love this thing. I think, even though I got the 2 jerseys right, this is like my happiest pickup of the entire day.
And it's comfortable as shit. I've got the same, of course, same design, the material and everything in Berglund Blues, and that thing is super comfortable. It's warm. I was out at the concert Friday night outside. It ended up being 40 degrees, and that thing was perfect for that.
Yeah, it's definitely really nice. I mean, I wish, Glendenning's kind of a small fucking guy. I like my shit kind of like big and baggy and bulky. So this is like, it just fits me. But
Now, what do they charge for those?
$65.
That's, God, the fucking Blues are more than that.
Are they really?
65 is reasonable. Yeah, the Blues are between 100 and 150, depending on who they are.
Jesus.
Well, when the Wings first sold those, because they sold them a few years back, that's what they were asking. About $150.
Yeah, I know. For one of the raffle prizes we had was a James Reimer one of these, and Paul had shipped it out so I could put it with all the gifts and all the prizes and whatnot. And I was looking at them, I was like, man, that'd be dope to get a Red Wings one. So yeah, that was like my super happy pickup.
It's sometimes the weird things like that interest you more.
Yeah, it was very weird, surprising to see them there. I was anticipating, since they're cycling out for all the Adidas stuff, I thought without a shadow of a doubt for sure they'd have exhibition and training camp jerseys, and they didn't. They had generic practice jerseys with patches on the side for the final season at the Joe. So I don't know if you guys know this. So the final season at the Joe patches, they wanted them, or at least from what I heard, they wanted to have those on the jerseys, but the NHL or somebody didn't like the design, or maybe somebody in the Red Wings organization didn't want them, because they're kind of like a big gaudy patch. I don't know if you saw them on the pictures. So they didn't end up doing them on the game jerseys, but they put them on the practice jerseys, and the practice jerseys were like $200 on marked players.
Damn.
I didn't get one.
Wow.
I'll take 2.
Yeah, no thanks.
Are they going to wear the 100-year patch into the first part of next season as well, or no?
I have no clue. I heard a story, I heard inklings that would be true, yes. But I can't confirm it. It's speculation at this point, but I've heard that, yes. So, there's still a potential for 3-patch jerseys out there. I mean, the old hockey greats, man, they're leaving us. Somebody's going to end up gone again, and we'll have more patches on jerseys, So what's going down in your neck of the woods, Jason, there with the Blues?
Well, couple things is they had gone started at the beginning of this season, started using one of those text based auction things where you could sign up and get a text. They let you know what's up for auction. Go to the link, bid on shit. First of all,
is that the e-gesture one, or is that the
yes,
Oh.
which in itself
It's like what the Avalanche, Lightning. That's what a lot of the teams are moving to that aren't with Fanatics or Migrate.
It's such a terrible, fucking stupid ass system.
And a big note of that too, and I don't know if you were aware of it. I had forgot when I posted a link last night for something that and I copied the link out of the text, not even out of my browser. When somebody else clicked that link, it showed them logged in as me.
No.
Oh
Yes.
shit!
Yeah, so it's like they want you to do it, but they don't want you to
Could they
kind
bid
of
as
share
you?
it on Facebook because then you're responsible if they bid for you.
Yep, somebody else,
So
and
if
I
you-
got a nice
if you
message.
send somebody
from
a
couple
link, they can bid from your account. It doesn't like do like a authentication process and do like session
Nope.
data.
And
No,
what was even what was even weirder was the fact that I copied the link because I knew it did that, but I copied it from the text, not from my browser. But it's still, when they clicked on that link, it showed them logged in as me. So I went in and I made sure I didn't win anything.
I want Sean Chalk's link.
Yeah. But
Has anybody notified them to stop using this system because it doesn't use session data? Like that's so
probably
fucking
not. I
insecure.
may reach out to them here after remembering that. And they've had a lot of good auctions. I mean, they've auctioned a lot of goal scored pucks, and all the money goes to the Blues for Kids. So they put out goal scored pucks, and some of those went high. Different autograph pucks. They did where I got that, and when I wore it to the convention, that Blues, that old school one they used for their skills competition. Well, they posted a couple days ago. Posted several of the throwback jerseys that they've worn through several games throughout the season. Though looks Winter Classic style, but it, of course doesn't have the Winter Classic patch. Well, they listed them out there saying was worn on this date, such and such. Well, several people bid, and some of them were in the $400-$700 range.
Damn.
They won, and then they got to looking at the game logs from those games, and guess what? They weren't worn by those players on those dates because they weren't playing.
Awesome.
So a lot of people were pissed and didn't want to pay for them, so they were reaching out to other bidders to see if they were interested. But I know some sold way under what the initial bids were. Like they even had from the skills competition game, they actually had a Marty Brodeur. He ended up not wearing it because it was a blue. I think he wore white, but it sold for $350, which and it was, I mean, it's goalie cut and everything, and had a set stamp, and it has a fight strap in them. You've seen them, Derek. They're a decent jersey. That's the cheapest Brodeur you'll find. But yeah, I know a lot of people were pissed
even
at
for
that.
game issue.
Yeah, but then come today, and we know, I'll mention the name once because of all the ongoing issues. We know the Blues Fanatics aren't getting along on some things. Well, guess what? The throwback jerseys that were worn on April 2nd are up on eBay under St. Louis Authentics, which is part of the Blues organization.
Nice.
So
They
they
just-
have that.
From what I hear, they just started the eBay thing like today.
Yeah, for this. Tarasenko's already at 8-10, and these are a one-game wonder. They were worn on April 2nd, which kind of surprising is some of them, and they haven't listed as game issued, but they listed all of them starting at $400, issued or worn or not.
Be kind and rewind. How much did you say, Tarasenko?
It's
Currently
already almost 900.
8-10, but it's got 9 days to go. I mean, this is the first day. They got put up there. What time? About 3:00.
Yeah.
Doc,
something
you better
like that.
swoop in there and put a high bid on that sucker.
You've
Bring
not
that
seen
baby home.
Yeah, you've not seen my bank account. That ain't happening.
Dude, I can't even fucking use eBay anymore, man. You get hit with 13% in fees because 3% for PayPal and 10% for your selling fees. I can't fucking do it, man. Anymore, I
Well,
just
and
use
that's-
it as
That's like an
advertising.
auction house pretty much now.
That's
I
the
just throw
thing,
shit up there
too.
for like crazy high prices just to get views, and then I put in the snippet like consigned through GameWorn.us to drive traffic to our site.
The only thing, because if you calculate that in at $400 and take that percentage off, they'll get what, about $230 if it was to sell at the minimum. The only thing that might help them is the fact that it lists in here that it's all the proceeds go to benefit Blues for Kids. So it's their charitable trust. I know eBay has some deals. If you're a charity, they take less fees and some other things. So I don't know if some of that's been negotiated. But even still, I mean, if these go at the prices that they were started at, which some of them may, they're not going to make much money off this. And this is just the April 2nd game. They've worn 3 or 4 more of these same style on other games. Yes.
No shit.
So, yeah, so there's
a ton of stock.
Yeah, telling me. So if people bid high on these and get all excited, and then a week and a half or 2 weeks from now, another set of these shows up, every set that shows up out there, you're going to see the prices be down.
I'll give them $120.
I'm glad I don't collect the Blues.
God, what the fuck is going on with
So,
Tom's face?
dude, you're yeah.
Are you
It's just
seeing that
it's
shit?
one clusterfuck after another.
The porn?
Oh man, that's insane, dude. I mean, it's nice to hear him getting off the Fanatics train. At least that's what it seems like. But I mean,
Even, I mean, you can tell they were rushed. They were set on what looks like a butcher block counter or something somewhere, and some of the pictures are zoomed out far. Some are close. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of wear because they were one game, but it's a picture of the front, it's a picture of the back, and it's a picture of the neck, so you can see the set tag, and that's it. It says the date it was worn, which is April 2nd, and a 4-1 win against Nashville. It says this is one of 6 games the Blues wore this vintage look during the 2016-17 season.
6 games, so there's 6.
They have like
6
6 one
jerseys
game
out
wonders.
there per player, just for that
So,
style.
yeah, if they put them all out this season, you're going to tank the market for these.
Jesus. I hope they do. I
He
just
doesn't
want to
even
see
want
what will
one.
happen.
So are the Blues now a new AHL team that comes out with a new specialty jersey every game now?
It's not
Shit,
a new
well,
one, it's just a copy.
Yeah, they need an AHL team, but that's a whole nother issue.
Hey,
They share
I'm
with the
super
Wolves?
excited about that. The Wolves getting the affiliate with the Golden Knights, man. That's going to be sweet.
And it'll be really weird how it works this next season with the Blues and the Wolves sharing.
Yeah,
nothing new.
That's
I've
kind of like
seen
an
it.
ECHL kind of deal,
It
so you
is.
know.
I mean, the Walleye did it with Chicago and Detroit for quite some time, and prior to that, they were the Storm, and it was Detroit and Nashville. It's nothing new.
Yeah, for Cyclones for a while it was Nashville and Florida.
I'll tell you
For a
what,
while.
though, dual affiliation sucks ass.
Yeah, it does.
None of your players have time to jab with each other, especially if there's any injuries going on, because everybody's getting up, getting down, getting up, getting down. So you never have like a steady team. People don't learn how to play with each other. And your team ultimately just ends up shit in the can, man. That's rough. Dual affiliation is rough.
So I know, and I say, besides thanking Matt for his stuff, I appreciate Mr. Dan Day he had a equipment sale, picked me up a couple things, a nice bag and a nice helmet from the Admirals, both to use.
Yeah, this was small. It was a real small shelf.
They just not have a lot of equipment since they're at the ECHL level, or they
Yes, they're going to a new logo this year, and I could not get any scoop. They figured out I was trying to get scoop on it. I was trying. I was milking everybody. There, nope. So they had their equipment sale. I went down there. It started at season ticket holders got in at 9, was it? And regular rails got in at 10. So I went down there. I got there at like 7, I think it was, maybe right around that time. And there's like 10 people in line. Come to find out, that was a line for the golden slippers
Golden
for some
Slippers.
dance thing. I swear. And I'm standing there in line. I'm like, okay, so the people are early. It's 7 o'clock. No big deal. And I'm sitting there, and a lady comes. Yeah,
So it's like
a lady comes up
Girls
behind
Dance
me.
recital thingy.
I think so. I don't know. I really didn't get a whole lot of information. So I'm sitting there, and this lady comes up behind me, and she starts talking, and I'm like, and she said something. I'm like, yeah, I'm here for the Admiral sale. She goes, oh, this line's for the golden slippers. I'm like, the what? She goes, a dance recital. She goes, I thought you were some motivated dad. I'm like, no, I'm here for the Admiral.
We're gonna
There's
need
no
to
shit.
stay at least 300 feet away from any little kid
Yeah.
areas at all times.
So, and there's adult parents there, and so I made another line. I was the first one in line. Made another line for the Admirals, and then maybe 20 minutes later, another season ticket holder showed up with his son. And the first I was there, and then the next probably the next 8 people in line were all there for gear, bags, mainly for bags, right? They all played the men's league and stuff like that. And they did the same thing that the Wings did. They checked you off on a list. You had to be on the season ticket holder list, and they allowed you to bring in one guest. So one guy that got there early, I got to bring him in. So by the time the guy checked him in, I literally walked down to the arena floor by myself. I walked in there. I was in there probably 2 minutes by myself with nobody else in there. And they told me there was going to be no game-worn jerseys, and there was. But a lot of bags, a few helmets, a few sticks, no skates, no goalie gear. They were trying to pawn off all their T-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff. They had a couple pairs of the locker room shoes and a few of the practice jerseys.
Any fancy slippers?
Nope. No, did you see no golden slippers?
Jeez.
Yes. I was like, are you kidding
I'm
me?
making a shirt up for you, Dan. I can't wait to give it to you.
Great. I'll wear it. And the lady laughed. I'm like, oh, sorry. And so the jerseys were priced at $250, and the Authentics were priced at $150. And I had one jersey of a guy that I collect, so I was able to pick that one up. But they had really no other big names, so I didn't buy any because I'm thinking there's no way I can either resell this at $250 or whatnot. So they weren't a hot item. So yeah, I picked up Doc a bag and a helmet. I got an Admirals like coach's bag kinda, and they happen to have a Portland Pirates team bag there, so I grabbed that one.
Yeah, I was wondering where the fuck that one came from because I saw that in the picture you sent me.
They had a Bakersfield Condors one too, but I didn't. That was more like the plastic.
Oh, they more let the players, like when they leave or jump teams or whatever, take it with them, and they just leave it there.
Yeah, the Portland one's nice, man. It's got a little bit of padding on the inside. It was pretty cool. So I walked over to the guy that I know, and I asked him because I already had my stuff and everything, and I said, "Where's all the goalie gear?" Because I was going for the mask. I mean, I was going in. I was going to grab the first mask I saw, and there was really no sticks. And he told me because it's a lower level team, players don't get the gear that the Red Wing players get.
Nope.
So they have the option of keeping it. So the goalies kept all their equipment. They take sticks home. They take stuff home because they just don't have the gear that the pro players have.
When you get up to the AHL, you see a little bit more of that, and then when you get up to the NHL, it's just like fucking new shit every other game.
Right. So that's why the Admiral sale was not very big. It was not a lot of equipment out there, and like I said, they were trying to get rid of all the old logo stuff. It worked out. Doc got a helmet, a bag. The stuff was pretty cheap, I think.
Oh yeah, it was.
And it was a top line helmet. I mean, it's the new. It was the
new CCM.
Yeah, it was a CCM helmet. The bag was in good condition. I don't think it had any holes, nothing in it.
No, perfect.
So,
we love
you guys
gear
ever
back
get disappointed in the gear that you're, like, a player that you follow wears? Like, I have a couple Luke Glendening helmets, and they're shitty.
I would say I was surprised by the gloves. Doc wanted me to look at gloves for him, and all the gloves were kind of trashed. Expected, I guess, because they were worn, but they were kind of like they weren't worth the money.
The sweetest pair of gloves I ever put my hands in were from the Chicago Wolves, and like the entire tops of the gloves were just like a cloud. I was like, I gotta get these. I didn't get any yet, but they're so dope.
Right. So I mean, that was my equipment sale here. Wasn't big, but it worked out. So then the other thing, so I sent the jersey I got was Jordan Hill. I sent Jordan a message, hey man, look what I found, and Jordan Hill wants the jersey.
Cool.
Well, at least you it'll go back to him and.
So him and I are gonna
on the walleye.
It's just a lower level guy. Became friends with him, watched him when he was playing in Manchester, and then followed him through Bridgeport. Played in Norfolk last year, and now he's played with Toledo this year, and Manitoba, a little bit with Manitoba. So he won the jersey for his dad, and the Admirals it's the third jersey that wore the old logo on it, and the Admirals were very helpful for him. So we are going to work something out.
Sweet.
So that was a good thing, I guess.
Maybe he'll get you a walleye jersey.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Or a Sonera Sting jersey, because they're hard to find. But yes, we're going to work something out. He offered to buy it from me, and I told him I didn't want his money. I said, I don't want your money. So.
Hey, Tom, isn't the flame sale just around the corner, too?
Yeah, that's this
weekend.
This 27th.
That I like because I picked up stuff last year because anything if you spent 200 Canadian, they'd ship it for free. Well, shipping in the U.S. is damn expensive.
So if you spend like $30 American, they'll ship it for free. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. No, you got to spend 200. Yeah, 300. Listen to you.
That's $30 American, man.
There you go.
Last year I got
when you need them.
I got a pair of Derek England gloves that were. It's neat the way they do their gloves because depending on the wear is the price. Like if there's a lot of wear, because they grade it like from 1 to 5. If it's a 5, you're going to get it for like $50 Canadian, because it's like pretty much unwearable to use if you want to use it on the ice. It's more of like a collector's item. But if it's like brand new, that's the price you're going to pay is brand new in Canadian dollars. But I ended up getting a St. Patrick's Day team issue, one of the practice jerseys that was made up for. Well, it was supposed to be made up for one of the players, and it was 75 Canadian. I got one of those center ice zip up jackets for $10 Canadian. Yeah, their prices are like insanely cheap, and it's really nice.
So you're going?
I am not going. No, I cannot make it out there. I was hoping to. But the with the wife being in the Philippines, that kind of took precedent over getting equipment.
But I know they make stuff available afterwards, Tom, because you sent me the link last year, and that's how I just called her up or emailed her at the thing. But yeah, right now the exchange rate's 1 to 1 Canadian dollar. Yeah, 74 cents US.
Yeah, they'll release it. I believe it's a week or two after the equipment sale. They will release what they have left over on their on the website on the Fan Addict, not Fanatic, Fan Addict site, and they'll list all the prices in Canadian, and they'll tell you, they'll tell you sizes, everything. They'll put the description of the gloves, like there's a hole in the right palm, but the left glove is is
they
fine.
do the shit that you should be doing.
Yeah,
yes.
They do it. They do it the correct way, and it's funny because the lady in charge, Paula, she's only been doing it. I think this is only her second or third year doing it, and she told me what they used to do before. She kind of took charge, saying, "No, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to organize it this way." So they've been doing a really, I think, great job. She's amazing. She's super nice, and she'll work with you.
So recently, and this is my favorite time of the year to be like a lurker on the different boards and forums, right? I don't engage in a lot of the banter that goes on, but GameWorn.us auctions closed.
Oh yes.
And I love reading everything that people have to say after the shit closes. And it's really unfortunate that I absolutely refuse to engage in their auctions because there's some stuff that I definitely would have bid on. But unless it's something that I don't think I'll ever see again, like that Zabados jersey, I cannot bring myself to engage in that because the whole money order shit annoys me, the shipping costs annoy me, the hammer fees annoy me, and the thing that I love about this and every time those auctions close is everything that annoys the shit out of me is the same stuff that you hear everybody talking about every single time, and it just makes me feel like I'm not insane.
You are.
You're not at all, but I mean, if every collector in the entire United States bitched at how they do their business, they still wouldn't change.
No.
I don't know about that, but I sometimes think that they let stuff and they'll bid stuff up themselves. I have no proof of this, but I wouldn't put it past them to hold on to it and recirculate it in a future auction, which it seems to happen. I mean, there's no way a jersey can sell 3 auctions in a row and still pop up each time. I mean, nobody gets tired that quickly 3 times in a row.
And especially going back to the same auction house.
That are not
Yeah.
paying bidders, but you don't know because they don't list bidding IDs, or at least even like, it, you know, I can understand not listing bidding IDs, but at least like show, you know, an encrypted version of their ID so you can see like the bidding pattern, so you can at least play it out and know that it's legit, so you don't see like the same asshole on every fucking thing just bidding stuff up and being the second highest bidder on absolutely everything, right? Because then you know what's
That's
up.
what eBay does. That they'll put like the first and the last letter, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you know, and I know it used to be wide open, and I know they changed it for privacy. But yeah, at least you can see something, and you're right, you can look at the pattern. And I think after the auction's closed, then you can see the full list, like the full name. I think
you can.
Okay, they may have changed it. It used to be that way.
But dude, I had griped at them about shipping on one of my items, and I got a phone call from them because I was like, "Look, I will pay you for the jersey, and I will pay you for the actual shipping cost, but I won't pay you more than the shipping cost. And here's what I calculated shipping to be from United States Postal Service." I got a phone call, and they explained to me that the reason why shipping is so high is because they charge you for them to have somebody come to their house and pick up their shit. Can't be bothered.
I'm sorry,
to
say
it there
that
themselves.
Who the fuck are they paying? And how? Because I bought some from them one time. I don't remember if it was it UPS or post office.
UPS.
They ship-
UPS
they
charges
ship
you
UPS.
for scheduled pickups.
Yep.
But if they were running a quote unquote business, and they do that much business, UPS won't charge you anything for pickups.
Well, even then, you only have to do it for one package. You just have to schedule a pickup, the first pickup. And I know this because my company ships through UPS. And when we just schedule one pickup for the day, not on each item. So hearing that kind of pissed me off.
Oh, they look for every way they can to just squeeze money out of people.
Seriously.
Nickel dime.
So that,
The best is-
that annoyed the shit out of me. But this is the time of the year that I love because everybody else is just griping on it too.
I won the.
And I'm like, everybody feels the same way.
I won the Brian Berard stick on there, and I won it for the bid. The bid was $25, so with the hammer was $30, and they charged me $40-something to ship it.
That's
Jesus
that's a deal.
Christ!
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a deal.
The invoice
About
is over.
$40.
But I knew that going in because I've had similar experiences before, so I knew that if I only bid the $25, I wasn't going to bid $27.50 on the thing. I either win it for the bid because I know the $25 bid is really a $75 price. I just know it. So, I couldn't bid more than that, and I feel bad for the seller because by the time you figure their listing fees, their photo fees, and the consignment fees, that guy's probably getting $18 or something for that stick.
Right. I mean, there was an Eiserman on there for sub 5,000, and that's cherry price. And I'd pay that all day, but I didn't do any research on it because I don't bid in their shit. And I didn't bid on it because I don't bid in
The
their
scary
shit.
one's that Solani that sold for $10,000.
That didn't sell for $10,000.
Isn't that
So-
what you finished at?
So I want to clarify something because I see these topics come up all the time about auction houses and the hammer fee screws you and the shipping screws you. And I've worked for a couple of auction houses, and one of them I trust because before I worked for them, I bid on a high-end Lemieux shirt, and it went for 2 bids less than my max. So I knew that they weren't shilling me because if they had access to it, they would have driven me up to the highest price. Now, on one hand, Derek, you referenced, how they're nickel and diming you and stuff like that, and then or Matt, and I know that you and I have talked about this before, whether or not they're able to see bidder IDs, and the Eiserman went for less than $5,000. So, wouldn't you think that they would fictitiously bid that one up? I guess I'm confused because when you read the auction rules, it flat out states it's 19.5 or 20%. If you get out an Excel spreadsheet, you can do the calculation and figure out what an actual bid is going to cost you. It is not that difficult. So to complain about it after the fact and how they're, all this other stuff about nickel and diming, all that other stuff, they are in business to make money.
Nobody's disagreeing with that, and the only reason I mentioned it is because that's why I don't bid. I don't bid and then say, "Oh man, 20%." I don't bid.
No, I know, but I mean, do collectors expect them to offer a service for free?
I think they expect them to offer it for a decent price.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Derek: is 13% an okay hammer fee?
I guess it depends on who you are.
Because eBay's charging you 13% and you won't sell with them, so
That's correct.
Do you want it lower than 13%?
I do.
And I guess I don't know of any economics business person that would be willing to live with a, sub 20% margin, I guess, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, we're fucking stupid over here at GameWorn.us charging people 5 to 8%. Fuck us, we're stupid, fuck it.
I do have a good question.
Assholes,
but
man.
is it your Derek? Is it your full-time job?
No.
Exactly.
Do
you think that it's their full-time job? Do you think Mark Juteau's full-time job is to run Classic Collectibles?
He probably does.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The fucking crook.
But hey, you can afford to do it full time when you
but at least
20%.
At least Chateau runs it out of an office instead of
you can't
Vivek running it out of his house.
I understand business. I get business. I mean, you can't run down business on me. It's economies of scale. If you have 15 $10,000 jerseys that you're making 5% on, that's pretty good. Especially if you have to do 1 month of work. Like it's all about economies of scale. It's about volume. How much work can you do in as little bit of time and scratch profit off of it? Now, can you take 20%? Sure. Could you take 5%? Sure. It really depends on how much you want to make. How much is it worth your while? Do you not want to have to work the other 11 months out of the year or 10 months out of the year if you do it twice? I mean, how much work is there? How much do you make off of it? It's business. It's economies of scale. I'm
looking at GameWorn. I'm looking at GameWorn's auction right now. They probably have 400 or 500 lots in there. Do you know how long that would take to write the descriptions for all that stuff?
Yeah,
take pictures of all that stuff.
I listed 11 things on fucking eBay in an evening. I know how long it takes.
Yeah, how many did you?
None of us have ever listed anything.
No, I've done it before too.
Yeah, I mean it depends on if you have a template. It depends on what you throw into it. Maybe they're copy and pasting out of Wikipedia half their shit. Who the fuck knows? All I'm saying is it can be done for less, but they don't.
Right, because it's their full-time job and they want to make more money.
Right.
They want to actually put. I know that they're putting more than food on the table and they're not broke, but at the same time, it is their full-time business. So when you're selling 11 shirts in an evening, what are you doing the rest of the month? You're probably busy. You can just find time in one evening. I'm in the same boat. When I try and sell something, I try and fit it in. But my life's busy. Everybody's life is busy. As a side deal, as a side operation, you're fine with living with 5-10%, whatever. But when it is your business, it is your way to make money. I think it's different.
Hey, you know what I want you to do? I want you to take that entire fucking list of everything that sold and tack on the buyer's premium and not even the cut that they get on the consignments and tell me how much they make.
Right, it's probably less than. Okay, let me ask you this, Derek. It's less than 40%, right?
It's going to be between 30 and 40 on everything that sells. All the
and I would say that for the high-end stuff, they're probably getting a consignment fee of less than 10%, because in order to get that high-end stuff, you're going to have to bid basically down the percentage that you're going to pay.
I'm going to tell you that they make about $350,000 every time they close an auction. So if you double that up, they get about $700,000 a year. I think you're doing pretty good.
Yep. How much? And that's just gross revenue, right?
That's gross revenue.
Gross revenue. What about their operating expenses?
Which are hosting.
Yeah.
$60 a year. Domain is $15 a year. They don't do any new development, so there's no cost there. So
They don't advertise. They didn't have to pay John for GameWorn.net.
They might have done it one time, but
it's
that's
all
a sunk
free,
cost.
right?
So-
I mean,
I've only seen them advertise in Facebook groups, and last time I checked, that's kind of free. I mean, I don't know. Do they do outside of Facebook groups like other online websites and other stuff like that?
It's been a while since I've seen any publications like Beckett or the Canadian Sports Card Collector or whatever, but I seem to remember them being in there. But you look at Mark Juteau, I mean, he's advertising all over the place.
Mark's also in a lot of other stuff other than hockey game jerseys.
Yeah.
What about
and
the
Mark?
fact-
And Mark also runs it out of an office. I mean, last time I knew, Spivak ran it out of his house. So how much are you taking as a tax deduction for running the business out of your house?
Well, does it make much difference if you're doing it as a personal operation and having to pay your mortgage, or running it as a business and having to pay rent?
Sure, it does.
Does it? Because where else is his income coming from? Where else is his income coming from?
Yeah, but if you're running it out of an office, if you're running it out of an office, you're paying rent on the office and you're paying the mortgage. If you're running it out of a house, you're just paying your mortgage. So of course it's different.
And you get to write off a percentage of that. You have to declare whatever the size percentage is, basically.
Right, the square footage of your house.
The fact of the matter is, when it comes down to it, can it be done for less? Yes. Do people want it to be done for less? Yes. It just doesn't.
Will it ever happen? No, because
and
people still bid, and most of that stuff sells.
If I
It
want
might
to be
happen.
unhappy with the rates, I can be unhappy with the rates. And if I want to not engage in that practice because of the rates, I'm going to not engage in the practice because of the rates. So everything that's being said here is just moot. Simply moot.
Yeah, absolutely. That doesn't mean I don't have a point either.
Casey, I do want to applaud you. On two occasions, you have assisted in proving items in both Classic and in GameWorn.net were not what they were claimed to be. And at least at Classic, Mark took back the item. However, at GameWorn.net, where the item was proven by you to be in someone else's hand and be video/photo matched to each period, David Spivak, all he could do was come back and say, maybe they switched it during a TV timeout. I would not bid or have any kind of confidence in that kind of authentication with that company, let alone them charging tax on shipping.
I didn't realize do they charge tax on shipping? I haven't won anything from there in a while, or at least I haven't looked
In
at the chain.
Pennsylvania they do, and I'm probably the only one when they were auction house in Pennsylvania that fell under that horrible disaster of, oh my gosh, 6% on top of all the other fees. I'm not saying they can't make money, but how are you charging tax on shipping when it's already calculated in?
And they did that with somebody from Florida too. I know on one of the Facebook pages, somebody from Florida won and got dinged tax and something else, and it was like, why am I paying tax in Florida? And I know some of it's under state
Did
rules.
you see what I posted about that? It's all state
I think I
shit.
missed it.
Now
Yeah.
the rates are high. I looked it up and it's 6% sales tax in Florida, not 7. And they're one of the states that do their consignment things funny. In some states it doesn't actually become your property, so you don't have to pay sales tax on it. The person who pays the sales tax is the person who originally owned it. So it comes down to a bunch of just differences between state law. But I mean, yeah, if you own an item, or it's like this sketchy, you really got to look up like consignment and what they determine as ownership in your state. You do have to pay a sales tax in some of them, and I think Connecticut's another one. I did a bunch of research on that. But yeah, the sales tax is 6% in Florida.
See, and part of me I just don't understand the Like, I get it. Charging tax on shipping, should they be doing it? Probably not. But is it going to prevent me from buying a jersey? No. I'm just looking at my last 2 Classic Collectibles auctions invoices. For one jersey, I got charged shipping of $120. For one stick, in a separate auction, I got charged $55. I got charged sales tax on the jersey of $150. To me, I do not care about whether or not they're making $20 more on shipping or $5 more if they're taxing the shipping. I want the item bad enough so, and there's no changing the way that they're going to run the auction. So to me, I just eat it and live with it because I really wanted the item that I bid on. Period.
Well, I think you make that justification on buyer's premiums because going in, it is what it is. But when you talk about shipping, you talk about tax on shipping. That's all hidden cost. Like, you don't realize how much.
But you can email about it. But you can email about it ahead of time. Say, hey, I'm interested in this item. What's it going to cost to ship? What's my total in price?
Yeah, for every item that you're thinking about bidding on. If I win 5 jerseys, what is it going to cost me? If I win 1, if I win 2 sticks.
Just say one.
I mean, to me, that seems like an awful lot of work.
Give you an estimate. But if you don't send an email, you don't know.
Well, why would, when I calculate shipping, why should it show up different than when they calculate shipping? It costs the same to ship either way, whether I calculate it or they ship it. There's one shipping cost. This is how much it costs to get there. So I should be able to figure that out on my own.
So Derek, what was the difference? What was the overall difference in what they were charging you versus what you calculated?
I think it was something like 13 or between 13 and 15 bucks.
Exactly my point.
On a higher end item, that's a great deal. But sometimes when you're getting lower end stuff, and hey, some people do that, but
some of us live by principle.
That's the biggest gripe.
It's not the fact that it's this ungodly amount of money. It's the fact that, fuck you, charge me the real fucking amount to ship the motherfucking jersey. I don't want to pay more shipping than I have to. Just be up with me. Be straight. Charge me the shipping fucking price. Not some other bullshit. The real shipping price. The real one. The one that's you pay. That's what I want to pay. It's not about the money. It's about the principle.
And I know I just got an SCP auction catalog in the mail yesterday. They have a shipping manager. And they did it at Leland's. They've done it at other auction houses that I've been at. Those people, they have a salary or they have an income. If they're going to tack on $10 to my shipping so that guy can make a living, I think I'm okay with it.
Maybe they need to pay that out of the 20% they take off the top, since that's an operating cost.
Yeah, hey, maybe they should. I work for a large publicly traded company, and we try and keep our margins at 40%.
I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm saying these are reasons why I don't engage in these practices.
Totally understand. I'm just offering a different view.
Businesses are out there to make money. If I had, a business that I wanted to just profit on, I would probably be doing the same damn thing. When I go to work, that's what I want my boss to be doing. I want my boss to be out there making money, because then I think that, if my boss is doing good, then I might do well.
Yep, exactly. And GameWorn.us and Mark Juteau, Leland's, they are big-time auction houses.
They are.
And they are in it to make money.
They are in it
so
to
to
make
complain
money.
about it serves no, the same complaints every single auction, because nothing changes whether or not you bid or not. They're not going to change.
But that comes down to people, and unfortunately that's just kind of like people as a whole. Is people want to be unhappy with something, but they don't want to do anything about it. There's people that complain every single time about the same shit about the auctions and don't do anything about it. They keep engaging in the same activities. I don't engage in the same activities. I like to pride myself on not being a hypocrite when I realize that I have the opportunity to not be a hypocrite. Sometimes it just happens. But I mean, I pride myself on that. So when I say I don't engage in them except in special circumstances, that is true. But you have other people that keep going back because they're gluttons for punishment, and then they complain about the same thing. And nothing changes. It's like the people that complain about Walmart, dude. They're like, Walmart's the devil, they don't pay their people enough. But who shops at Walmart the most? This fucking person complaining about Walmart. Like, it's the power of the consumer. You know, you wrap that up in American politics, and you can apply that to our hobby as well. Like, it's the mentality of people, is they want somebody to tell them how to live their lives instead of them going and utilizing the power that they have within their own grasp that they can do right now.
I seriously hope there's change at some point. That's why I bitched for years, and then I finally just gave up because
Do you want
nothing
change?
was going to change as long as people continued to bid on those auctions and get things that were not as they were described to be. And they still exist out there. There's bad jerseys that get out of these auction houses because people don't do research or don't know how to find out the research. Casey has helped me with at least two items to date, and I thank him again for it. But what about all the other stuff that's in these auction houses that just sneaks out because it isn't a high-end item, but it floats out there like it's a good item because it came from one of these auction houses?
Matt, you
Well, I
want
don't think
change?
it's exclusive to low-end items. I mean, honestly, I think that that 92, 93 Solani that they just auctioned, I have some doubts on that jersey. And that thing sold for 10 grand.
If you want change, the only way to get change is for you and your buddies to stop engaging activity and give your business to someone else or somewhere else. I know Phil threw a lot of business my way through GameWorn.us because he was tired of what auction houses were doing, and maybe the train hasn't come in on that yet, but that's the only way to drive these places to change. I don't know if I can take credit for it, but they changed up their whole forum and everything and all that shit not that long after I started doing the website with the news feed and stuff, and they made it so you could write your own news article on their website or whatever. But they did that after I was like trying to like feed people, here's information on what's going on in the hobby as I was finding it. Now, could it be coincidence? Hell yeah, sure. But I like to believe maybe I had a hand in them trying to change up how their forums were working. That's just my 2 cents.
I agree.
I mean, we've seen so many swings just overall in the hobby and different things like that. I mean, you may get to a point where auction houses in some form or another are obsolete, or they can't charge the things that they need to charge, and whatever. And those kind of things are finally what gets stuff changed, or people quit either taking stuff to them to sell, or people quit buying.
You don't like GameWornAuctions.net, sling your business over to someone else like Classic or somebody else that's starting something up, or start something up yourself. It's consumer, it's purchasing power, it's capitalism, and that's how it works. It's about the masses. So talk to your people, educate the masses, see what you want to do, be a collective, whatever it takes, or just silence yourself and don't engage, and what happens happens. But you can't continue to do the same activity, engaging in the same practices, and complaining about the things that you are choosing to engage in continuously. I hate Walmart, but I continue to shop at Walmart type deal. It just doesn't make sense. Well, I had another topic I wanted to talk about, but we'll have to save it for the next time. Because we were just about out of time. That topic that I was going to talk about was at the expo. I had a chance to talk to some of the old-timey collectors, and they had talked to me about some of the episodes we had recorded about like the glory days of the hobby and how it was back in the 70s and 60s and 80s era, all that, the wild, wild west of the GameWorn collecting hobby. And their interpretation of it was that it was not actually all that awesome of a time. So I'm gonna share with you guys and talk to you guys and get your input on what we thought was awesome back then and what they thought was not awesome back then, and it's better now. So I think that's gonna be a really cool anecdote to talk about. But as per usual, stick around after I end this thing, and we'll do a little bit of bullshitting. But yeah, it was a good conversation. I think it was quite helpful. A couple different insights. So appreciate you guys hopping on board. Dan, Casey, Matt, Tom, Jason, Phil. It was a good time. Stick around. We'll talk to everybody next week.
Streets of Japan till I get lost, 'cause it doesn't remind me of anything. With a graveyard town